Hello, epic viewers from around the world. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What item will I be unboxing? What item will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What item is encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now, so bear with me. It'll only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the item from the box and subsequently flaunt it in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go, the unboxing process. It's about to commence. The unboxing process is officially underway. What item will I be prompting? What item will I be drawing forth? Let's find out. Who was this character, you may ask? Who was this figurine? He's known by the moniker of Fang Foom. He's derived from the Marvel Legends Fang Foom. He's derived from the Marvel Legends Fang Foom series. I thought I made a blunder there. If I did, I apologize. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on. Unfortunately, he's relegated to plastic bags. I procured him via eBay. I recollect paying a premium price of almost $150 in order to obtain him. Is this a meritorious action figure? Did he warrant the premium price? Is he stupendous? Let's find out. His lore is an enigma. Why? I do not know it. It's an enigma to me. You may have been able to shed light upon it. You may be well acclimated with this character's lore. I'm not. I have his appendages. Over here we have the head in conjunction with the tail. He's an amalgamation of a plethora of body parts that you can consolidate together in order to draw forth the Fang Foom action figure. He's a Build-A-Figure. Here's another piece. So we have more appendages and more limbs. Some are engulfed in bubble wrap. The box is devoid of its contents and it can be relegated to the trash. I'm gratified, I'm content, I'm jubilant, I'm buoyant. I'm glad that I finally own this figurine. I desisted from buying him for years. However, I finally decided to splurge and procure him. Oh, he's already partially assembled. Alrighty. I just need to attach some of the body parts, and then I can flaunt him on my shelf. He has spikes protruding out of his body, or scales. I believe that Fang Foom is an adversary of the Hulk. He may be the Hulk's nemesis. The figurines within the Marvel Legends Fang Foom series that came bundled was a appendage of this character. Include various characters from the Hulk comic books. I typically abstain from procuring variants of figures that I already own. However, if you love variants, then this particular Marvel Legends Fang Foom wave may appease you. I think it had a variant of She-Hulk. You could verify that. It may have also contained Absorbing Man, as well as a couple versions of the Hulk. I'm trying to recollect who it contained, but I do not know all the characters it contained, since I never bought the figurines within the series. The Hasbro Marvel Legends don't really appease me. As an aggregate, they're dreadful in stark contrast to the Toy Biz Marvel Legends. The Toy Biz Marvel Legends are prodigious. They're extraordinary, they're exquisite, they're divine. The Toy Biz Marvel Legends had finger joint articulation, they had toe articulation, they had diaphragm joints, they had over 30 points of articulation. They came bundled with a stellar accessory in conjunction with the comic book. On the other hand, the Hasbro Marvel Legends command a hefty premium price of at least $20. They don't come bundled with the comic book. They typically have under 30 points of articulation. They lack finger joint articulation. They lack toe articulation. Also, their knees and elbows are likely not double jointed. But you can verify that for yourself. Maybe they've augmented the upcoming waves. But I just feel as though their textures, their shadings, their paint applications, their aesthetics, their hues, and their overall quality is unequivocally inferior when compared to the Toy Biz Marvel Legends. That were 250% cheaper, and that were more stellar in every aspect. But that's my objective opinion. Yours may be disparate from mine, which is fine. Your sentiments appertaining to this issue do not need to be akin to mine. They could be disparate. And if your sentiments are different from mine, then please feel free to relay them via the comment section below. I'm curious what your gripes are about the Hasbro Marvel Legends figurines. I'm also curious, what do you find appealing about them? It's just unbelievable that a wave of Hasbro Marvel Legends figurines commands a staggering premium price of at least $140. Alright, so off the get-go I have some minor complaints that I would like to relay appertaining to this particular figurine, and then I'll hone in on his positive features, or I'll be optimistic for a change, and assess his merits, but at the moment I'm going to pinpoint his flaws. So he lacks finger joint articulation, which is disappointing. He lacks an ab crunch, which is disappointing as well. He lacks toe articulation. His knees and elbows are not double jointed. He cannot separately swivel his forearms without his biceps swiveling. That's unfortunate. I also don't like the fact that his fingers are semi-clenched together. I would have preferred if they were fisted and fully clenched together rather than partially clenched together. What's another gripe that I have? His head is not relegated to a disc joint, so the articulation is pretty much finite. You can rotate it 360 degrees, but I advise you not to. Interestingly enough, his teeth can be clenched together. He can look more menacing and intimidating and more diabolical if his teeth are clenched together as opposed to opened. When you render an aperture in his mouth, it just looks ridiculous and more ludicrous. He looks more cunning and conniving and malicious with his teeth clenched together. I do like the fact that his scales or spikes are protruding out of his back and out of his neck. I like the fact that his tail can be rotated to some extent. He seems as though he can balance. That's always a positive. His feet lack peg holes. There's a missed opportunity there. He doesn't seem to be very hollow, which is ideal. You want your action figures to be bulky and have plastic fillings inside them. You don't want them to be devoid of plastic. What else? He has beady little eyes, which are appealing to look at. He really emulates the appearance of Fang Foom. I recollect engaging in a bout against him when I was playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the Xbox 360. That was over half a decade ago. I believe I prevailed in my endeavor to defeat this menacing beast. He seems to be a dragon. This is just a remarkable figurine. I love his textures, I love his paint applications, I love his shadings. His sculpt denotes a high quality design. He's superior in stark contrast to the typical, conventional, regular Hasbro Marvel Legends action figure. He dwarfs nearly every other Hasbro Marvel Legends action figure. He towers over them. He can dominate his adversaries in melee combat. He can scorch them to death. He could ascend into the air. You could ascend and descend his arms at your own discretion. His appendages can be removed if you so choose to. There's no real articulation in his knee joints. I thought there was, but there isn't. So that's a missed opportunity. I would have preferred if his wings were a bit bulkier and a bit heftier, so that they could accentuate his massive size, or his commanding presence, or his dominating demeanor. I mean, the bigger he is, the more intimidating he looks. That's my outlook, that's my perspective. But if they were bigger, they could have truly accentuated his dominance on the battlefield. Massive wings may instill trepidation in the hearts of his adversaries. These wings are relatively scrawny and puny. If you look behind me, you see how enormous a Balrog's wings are. He just looks more intimidating with larger features, but that's my subjective opinion. Yours may be disparate from mine. So, despite the small wings, the lack of finger joint articulation, the lack of toe articulation, the lack of an ankle pivot, the lack of an ab crunch, he's just a remarkable figurine. So, at the totality, overall, I'd rate the figurine to be an 8 out of 10. Despite his shortcomings, he still has merit. He warrants a premium price. I wouldn't have paid over
$160 for him, so I pretty much reached my threshold when I paid $150 for him. I love his demeanor. I love his facial expression. I love his facial features. I love his scales. I love his whiskers. I love his ears. I wonder if he's comprised of PVC plastic. There's a multitude of plastic types. He seems to also be comprised of rubber. So it's just excellent that his design is cohesive. Pretty much throughout his body, he looks like the notorious, infamous, sadistic, villainous Fang Foom. Some designs are not as cohesive. This one seems to be all around. I just would have preferred if his wings were eminently larger, but it is what it is. I'm done ranting and raving and blustering about the shortcomings associated with a particular figurine. I hope that you found this video to be intriguing and insightful. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.